Good day, I'm Andrea Chisholm and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, February 12. Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller informed Parliament Tuesday that her overseas assignments since she took office in 2012 have had economic or other benefits for the country. Mrs. Simpson Miller was responding to questions raised by opposition leader Andrew Holness in the House of Representatives. The Prime Minister said she undertook 25 overseas assignments between January 2012 and December 2013 with a cost of $15.15 million for her expenses. She also disclosed that $117.8 million had been spent to support the overseas engagements of other government members during the period.
Apart from the funerals, every trip that I've made could yield some benefit to Jamaica, economic and otherwise. Everyone.
Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller has again signaled her government's full commitment to rural area development. She says while the focus has been on urban centers in the past, her administration will be placing special focus on rural areas.
We believe passionately that we will never be able to deal with urban decay and underdevelopment and to deal with poor communities in rural Jamaica unless we address the needs, and I want to ensure that we begin to pay special attention to our deep rural communities, particularly the poor, deep rural communities.
The Prime Minister was speaking during the recent handing over ceremony of 39 houses to sugar workers in Trelawney. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister has repeated her call for communities to care and protect children. In strongly condemning last week's slaying of an 8-year-old girl in St. Thomas, Mrs. Simpson Miller said the incident was unforgivable.
Can we return to the good community values of love, of caring, of sharing, and of looking out for the little ones? I beg communities, let us unite in the interest of this country, this beautiful country, this rock of ours. Let us unite.
In other news, 30 more housing units are to be constructed by March 31 for families under the Program of Advancement through Health and Education PATH. This forms part of the social housing program of the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. Through a $30 million partnership with Food for the Poor, since 2013, 27 one- and two-bedroom housing units have been provided for PATH beneficiaries in Hanover, St. Catherine, St. Thomas, Clarendon, Kingston, St. Andrew, and St. James.
The housing solutions being provided to families on PATH is a true manifestation of our mandate of adopting a developmental approach in the provision of social assistance benefits, and in so doing, assist in reducing the dependence on the state.
Minister Kelly was speaking at a ceremony in Plantation Heights, St. James, where Jocelyn Scott and his family received their key under the same initiative. Over the last 2 years, PATH has also provided over 2,500 civil registration documents, including birth certificates, to beneficiaries. 1,400 entrepreneurial grants valuing $90 million have also been disbursed.
The government recognizes that poverty is a multi-dimensional social condition, and as such, for any intervention to meaningfully alleviate poverty, it must include the empowerment of families.
$15 million has been allocated for the expansion of the Belmont Academy in Westmoreland, which will see the construction of a new block with 5 additional classrooms. The project, which is set for completion by the end of March 2014, will allow for an additional intake of grade 7 students starting September this year. Speaking at the contract signing ceremony recently, Minister of State in the Office of the Prime Minister, Luther Buchanan, said the project would also benefit students from neighboring communities.
This is an opportunity to allow that travel load to be less and the savings in the pocket of the parents. It is what we need to continue our program of development, because education is the only vehicle we can use to bring our country from poverty.
The construction is being done using the cost-effective prefabricated design method. And finally, the tourism product development company TPD Co says government is committed to keeping the entity autonomous so it can be more effective. Maxine Henry Wilson says the merger of TPD Co and the Tourism Enhancement Fund was previously considered as part of the public sector transformation program. She, however, says it became clear that such a merger was not the most viable path.
It was reconsidered based on the analysis which said that if you had both the funding agency and the project management agency, you may end up with some conflict of interest.
Mrs. Henry Wilson told JIS News recently that the TPD Co continued to improve its functions to ensure a sustainable tourism sector. And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Andrea Chisholm. Thank you for watching.